Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Go Intelligent Sports Podcast Show. I'm coming to you on a Monday after the Saints victory. It's a joyous occasion. I guess congratulations is in order, but man, at this point, it's just comical, man. To watch the Saints play is just pure comedy. So, but anyway, let's get all the formalities out of the way. If this is your first time checking your boy out, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I do these shows at least twice a week, 2 times, 3 times a week. Mostly covering the Saints right now, but that's soon to change because we know the Saints ain't going anywhere. But anyway, like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, help your boy get into the YouTube algorithm, continue to blow the channel up. I appreciate everybody that has been doing that so far. Continue to do it, and I'll continue to crank out these episodes. But let's get right into it. Yesterday, the Saints took on the Carolina Panthers, who are 1-10 coming into the game. Terrible, as Charles Barkley would say. They not a good football team at all. They just recently fired their head coach, Frank Wright, and they're just trying to right the ship. They had the #1 pick in Bryce Young last season in the draft. They would have a #1 pick this season, but they traded that away to Chicago. That wasn't too smart. But anyway, and David Tepper out there firing people like you can just pick another one up at Rouse's, right? Just fire head coaches and go back to the shopping mall and get another one or something, like they grown trees. But anyway, but the New Orleans Saints, they're not playing any better, right? They're coming into the game 5-7, right? The record is better, but man, what does that even mean, right? Because at this point, when I read you these numbers, these stats, you're going to just take the blinders off, right? Just say you're not a New Orleans fan, New Orleans Saints fan. Just these are just blanket numbers. And you yourself make the decision if people are playing up to the level of their contracts, right? Just bear with me. Bear with me. That's all I ask. Bear with me. I'm going to read you Bryce numbers, quarterback stats first. I'm going to start there. Bryce Young finished 13 of 36 for 137 yards. He was sacked 4 times for 38 yards. He had a QBR of 12.6 and a rating of 48. Now, that's the #1 pick in the draft, a rookie, right? This is a rookie I'm talking about. He's not playing well, right? But he's a rookie. There's room to grow. Let's look at Erik Carr, who's a 10-year veteran, by the way. Erik Carr finished 18 of 26 for 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack. He had a QBR of 32 and a rating of 88.5. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the stats of your $150 million quarterback, who's, by the way, is playing off of a concussion the last 2 out of 3 weeks with a rib injury also. Do we not have a backup quarterback? Do we not have one? But I'm not going to make no excuses for Erik Carr. I am not going to blame this on injury. This has been his performance the entire season. He has been abysmal the entire season. And for anybody that wants to come on my channel, debate me or take me to cleans and try to blame anybody but that fool, then you're more than welcome to do it. Because I don't care what side of the argument you're on. When you look at these numbers, this is not a $150 million quarterback. Man, I just read to you a rookie quarterback who last year was playing for Alabama. And his numbers are the same, basically, as a 10-year veteran. That's all I got to say about that. Moving right along. No, I can't move right along. I can't move right along. This is just let's at one point in the game, people. At one point in the game, Erik Carr had 11 completions for 42 yards. 11 completions for 42 yards. He had one play in the third quarter to A.T. Perry for 44 yards. In one play, he was able to outplay himself from one play. than he had did all 3 quarters. Make it make sense. And people want to get on here and say that, oh, you're too hard on Derek. The offensive line isn't blocking. The receivers aren't catching the passes. Whatever, man. Stop making the excuses. The man is not playing up to his contract. He's not playing good quarterback play right now. It's not any good. It's not. It's not. It's not. Stop making the excuses. Stop making them. Alvin Kamara had 3 catches yesterday for minus 11 yards. He had a negative 3.7 yard per catch. How in the hell is that possible? How in the world is how? Alvin Kamara, who leads all running backs in receptions in the season. I'm talking about through all 32 teams. Like it isn't any good. If you wanted this type of performance and you want to pay, like you can give me that money, because I do it for significantly less. I would, and you're gonna get the same result, and you can save yourself some money, right? $150 million. I do it for $150,000. $150,000. I give you these numbers. I stay up all night long studying the playbook and everything and give you these numbers. I'll save you $149 million. Like, holla at me, Saints, right? Defense yesterday played okay, I guess, right? Considering who they were playing, right? If the Saints played like this against anybody, they get their ass kicked. It's simple as that. If they play like this against anybody else in the league, the Saints would get their behinds whooped, and it wouldn't have been close. This is what I can't understand, right? We went up to Minnesota. Joshua Dobbs looked like the second coming of Randall Cunningham. All of a sudden, since then, he's forgotten how to play quarterback. Yesterday, he was benched, right? Desmond Ridder looked like world beater against us. Last 2 weeks against the Jets and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, normal. Looked regular. Like, why is it that when teams play the Saints, right, albeit Carolina because they can't play right now, they look like they are hitting on all cylinders? It just looks like they can't do no wrong. The Detroit Lions last week came here and scored 21 points before you can even sit down and get a good swig of your beer. They go up to Chicago and lose. We beat Chicago. How's, like, what in the world? What is this, the Twilight Zone? Like, I don't, I talk about Sean all the time, because when Sean left, I wasn't one of his fans. I'll be quite honest with you. I call him Sean Percocet because of some of the plays that he used to call was just, you just had to be on cloud 9 when you called him, right? But right now, he got the Broncos turning the corner. They're 7-6. They're going to make the playoffs. Meanwhile, we out here can't wait to lose the games. We want to give them away. We want to play a quarterback that's been in the ICU for the past 2 out of 3 weeks. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And this is crazy. The Saints won 28-6 yesterday, and I'm on here talking about this, right? Because it didn't look like it didn't really look like a real 28-6 game. You got Jimmy Graham out here putting away his walker, right? Putting his walker on the side to come out here and get touchdown passes, right? But we don't play him for like 6 out of the 11 weeks that we've been playing football. Like, what are we doing? Like, it doesn't, like he was on IR or something, but he wasn't on IR. We just weren't playing him, right? Juwan Johnson stinking up the joint. Like, come on, man, just get Jimmy back in there, because clearly he wants to play. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. Erik McCoy and Derek Carr yesterday almost came to blows. They both got in each other's face. You know, I was wondering what could bring that upon, what transpired for that to happen. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Fourth down for the Saints. It's a punt. It'll be number 39, Lou Hedley. Deep will be number 11, Amir Smith-Marset.
So this is what it looks like to me. Derek Carr calls out a protection. Erik McCoy hikes the ball. Derek Carr is sacked. Cesar Ruiz is beat on this sack. And he beat pretty bad, too, to say that we gave Cesar Ruiz the type of money that we gave him. And he didn't put up no resistance to this guy. He gets sacked. And what I see is Derek Carr slammed the ball, and he more than likely made a comment or so to criticize the offensive line. And Erik McCoy wasn't going for it. He was tired of hearing the slight jabs that Derek Carr is doing. I thought Derek was a leader. Look, I know a little something about being a leader. Own my own business. You don't blame people when you're a leader. You don't. You just take it on the chin and you say, I got to be better. That's just one of the points of being a leader, not to blame others. You don't point fingers. You don't do that. You don't point fingers at other people when you're a leader. Now, maybe if you're Dr. Evil, if you took a course in leadership from him, you might. But real leaders, you know, your George Pattons, right? Your George Washingtons, right? Your leaders of the new regime. Like when you really leading, you don't point fingers. And Erik is probably tired of hearing it. We got Derek Carr versus Erik McCoy. We got Derek Carr versus Chris Olave. We got Derek Carr versus Trevor Penning. We got Derek Carr versus Michael Thomas on the social media. Yeah, we just got Derek Carr versus everybody. That should be a t-shirt, by the way, for all you Derek Carr fans that's out there. But make sure you give your boy some credit when you do it. Like, we have Derek Carr versus everybody. It's at this point, it's not any good. Drew Brees was here for almost 20 years. 17, really. I'm kind of exaggerating to 20. But Drew was here a long time. You didn't have those problems. Later on in his career when we had the kneeling situation and we had the social justice warriors and whatnot, and he just didn't, he was tone deaf on some stuff. But he never, you couldn't question Drew's leadership. Even when those problems arise, right? It didn't make out of the locker room if there were any kind of beefs or anything going along, because Drew, quiet as it kept, and you know, I was on him about him being noodle on and late on in his career, but he was a leader. He was the epitome of a leader. If you had a dictionary and it had leader, it'd have his picture next to it. You didn't have these problems when Drew was on the team. Derek Carr, not so much. Now, I mean, one season, Derek Carr even hasn't been here for a full season, and he's had more beefs with teammates than Drew Brees did in 17 years. That's not good. Don't make excuses for him. Stop. This is his 10th year in the league. 10th. But I know one thing. Bryce Young was sacked. How many times yesterday? Bryce Young was sacked. Bryce Young was sacked 4 times yesterday, and for some reason still finished with 18 yards more passing than Derek Carr, right? On 5 less completions. Dennis Allen has to be the most delusional head coach I've ever seen in my life. Because in his post-game speech to the team, he had the nerve to tell the team they were back in first place in the division. Sir, have you checked the rankings? Were you there? Were you there when you lost to the Falcons? Were you there when you lost to the Buccaneers? Okay, you both have the same records, and head-to-head beats any kind of a tiebreaker. Sir, they're in first place. You're in third. If it came down to it, Saints don't make the playoffs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the division right now. As of now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in first place. This is the type of guy we have at coach. But anyway, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to bring nobody else down to the level that us Saints fans are in right now, because it's abysmal. It's terrible. But New York Giants are coming into town. Last time the New York Giants were here, they beat the Saints. Saquon Barkley ran all over them. But I mean, it is what it is, right? People want to bring up the 52-49 game from years ago when the Giants were here like 2 years ago and beat the Saints. But that's neither here nor there. Hopefully the Saints get a victory next week. We need it if we plan on making the playoffs. But make them for what? We not competing with no damn body, man. Make them for what, man? Anyway, this has been another episode of the Go Intelligent Sports Podcast Show. I understand I probably kind of ran a little long on the video today, but man, this needs to be done. Last week I was so down with the loss. The week before that I was down with the loss. This week I'm kind of up, but man, I don't know how to seriously feel about this team. I really don't. I'm just ready for the season to be over. I'm ready for the draft. I'm just ready to move on. Hopefully we get a new coach next year, because Dennis Allen ain't it. Pete Carmichael ain't it. And Derek Carr, look, man, I don't know what to say about Derek Carr. I just think he pulled off the biggest heist in NFL history when the Saints gave him that contract. But speaking of people that gave out the contract, Mickey Loomis this week won his 200th game as a general manager. I guess congratulations is in order for Mickey, because he's the ninth general manager to do that. So they've been playing football a very long time, and only for him to be number 9. So you have to give props where they're due, and Mickey was able to do that. So props to him. Hopefully he gets 201 next week, and we continue to chug along and try to right this shit. But this year is a wash. I'm just ready to move on, because the Saints in preseason, I thought the Saints was going to do way better than this. I had them finishing like 12-5 or something like that. They ain't nowhere near that. Oh my God. This has been another episode of the Go Intelligent Sports Podcast Show. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to share it with me, and I appreciate you for that. Until next time, peace.